please, for the love of God, do not ask anybody to put pineapple on your pizza when we're in New York. I'm begging you.
It's known as vandalism, just to be clear.
When John and Dustin get together, you never know what's going to happen.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wear Mighty Things, presented by Wearable Fandom. This is episode number 13, recorded on September 1st. We are thrilled to be back with everybody. And right up top, I want to let you guys know that you can find our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, right here on YouTube if you're watching us on video, and most high-quality audio dispensaries. Want to ask you guys to please like and subscribe and ring that bell bang to make sure you get notifications for it when any of our new content drops. You also can drop us email right here at wearablefandom@gmail.com. And now with the legalese out of the way, I want to welcome back to the podcast my incredible co-host, the one, the only, John Madigan. Hey, John, how's it going, buddy?
Hey, Dustin, how's it going, buddy?
How was your flight back from D23?
Oh my God, it was great, man. I'm still missing being with everyone. I'm missing being with you. We had so much fun in California and D23, and it was just amazing getting to see so many of insiders and listeners, and getting to spend that time with everyone was so special. And it was a weekend that I'll never forget. That was truly special. And being able to do the podcast with you in person was so much fun. Our last episode, we got to do it in person, and we had special guests, and we were able to be a little bit more interactive with one another.
Yes.
And I think it was just a lot of fun, truthfully.
Yeah, I had a blast, and I've been singing the praises of D23. John, I dare be careful mentioning this around you, have considered the idea of going to the Star Wars celebration on the back of the incredible experience that I had at D23. I know Celebration in Japan is going to be just as good, if not even better. And I got to figure out how I can survive going on a cruise where there's likely to be a lot of drinking only a few days later.
You're not missing the cruise, Dustin. You're not doing it. Which, by the way, can we just say, we spoke with HQ at the Roosevelts booth and at the party that they threw us and everything. And HQ, this is all I'm going to say. HQ is very excited for the cruise. We had a good talk, and they're very excited. And all I'm going to say is book your tickets now, because it's going to be a good time.
Yeah. And now we know we can record the podcast on the cruise, so we can just definitely go ahead and say that's going to happen. So you need
absolutely. We can definitely record an episode on the cruise. It's going to happen.
Yeah, it probably needs to be mostly sober.
Mostly, that's going to be hard to get me sober. That's going to be, or we each have a few drinks and we set up a camera and we see what happens. I don't know.
We see what happens.
Are you getting the drink package?
Oh yeah. Although I'm learning a lot of things about cruises as this is not going to be my first cruise, but I'm going to have a couple of cruises in very short succession. So this is my first planning for a cruise, and I realize your stateroom mate, your roommate, needs to also have the same package, because if not, of course, people would just be slipping drinks out the side. One person gets the package, the other person doesn't. So me and my stateroom mate need to talk that through, but yeah, definitely getting the package for sure.
Yeah, you got it. I mean, on this cruise, this is gonna be a heavy drinking cruise. And
sounds like it.
I would argue that most people who are coming on the cruise are going to be getting that drink package. They are losing money on us, that cruise. 100%. I feel bad for everyone else who's going to be on that cruise, because they're going to be wondering what they're missing out on.
Yeah.
All the random strangers.
Well, what's the count up to now?
We're about 80 people. We're about 80 people coming on the ship, and I'm just hoping as we get further, then more people are going to book. But I'm very happy and satisfied with the 80 of you that we have coming on the ship. That's a lot of people all together on the cruise ship, and I'm working together with Jeremy, who's my travel agent, who's been helping me out with this. He's been fantastic, to work on some special stuff for everybody. And it's going to be a great time, just filled drinking and being with friends and family dinners and karaoke and late nights at the hot tub and the pool, and just we're gonna take over the ship, baby. That's basically what's gonna happen.
Right.
It's gonna be a good night for everybody.
But what we're not going to do is drop our phone in the hot tub or overboard, right?
Yeah, we're not breaking the phone. We're not going to break the phone on this ship. Let's hope. Let's hope we don't break the phone. That was rough. That was a rough couple of days.
Yeah.
No phone, no access to the outside world. It's hard when it's forced upon you. You know,
Yeah,
it's one thing.
sure.
People talk about taking breaks from social media, and again, if you're doing that voluntarily, that's one thing. But to have it forced out of you, and it's funny because I actually, on the ship, they actually do have computers that you can go on, and they're a bit of an older thing. I mean, they're not really used as much anymore because everyone just has their phone, but they do have that option. And so I was technically able to get to the internet, but to log into like Facebook or Instagram or any kind of social media platform, because I was logging on from the middle of nowhere, they wanted an authentication code from my phone, which I couldn't use. So, 5 days, but this time we're going to be a little bit smarter when it comes to the phone. Maybe leave the phone in the room and then go to the hot tub.
There you go.
Maybe we do that this time. I learned my lesson. Yeah. Something like that. Tell me what you're wearing today, Dustin.
Today I am wearing, I don't know how well you can see it here, but
I can see. I have 20/20 vision with these glasses on.
Okay, obviously I'm talking about it in the context of the viewers here, but up top I've got the Hoboken to Tokyo lid from the Roosevelts, and then I'm wearing the Screamy Up shirt with my Mosh Isley t-shirt here.
There you go, baby.
This is kind of like a combo that I think I saw Steve wear one time, and at MegaCon. Yeah. I think that was the first time we saw the Screamy Up shirt. So when it came out finally, I was like, oh, that's an insta buy for me. So I landed that one right away. How about you?
Yeah. I am wearing the. I don't think this is. I know this is the High Appel design, but I actually don't remember the name of this hat. And I am wearing the Doors hoodie that was actually just recently restocked while we were away at D23. That was a nice little surprise. I actually popped my tags on this hoodie. I got it during the original drop. And I popped my tags on this hoodie for my flight to California because I figured, I was like, why not? I'm like, this is a special occasion.
Yeah.
Let's pop the tags on Doors.
Yeah.
But definitely really happy that so many people got to get that. And I think it's still in stock, honestly. I think at least most sizes I think are still in stock, which means that they definitely planned well for everyone to be able to get one. Mm-hmm. And I think it's safe to say that anybody who wanted one in their size was able to get one now. And you might still be able to. So I think this is a fantastic design. I get tons of compliments whenever I wear the hoodie or I wear the Kunu. So I would definitely recommend picking this up because everyone knows Monsters, Inc. That iconic opening sequence. Definitely one that you want to pick up for sure.
Yeah. Well, we've got lots to talk about today here. Of course, we're going to continue a little bit longer talking about our D23 recovery. There are some things that are old things that are new again. NSYNC, one of your favorite groups, has been nominated for Best Group on the back of their success with Wolverine and Deadpool. We've got some very famous celebrities who are now rocking the Roosevelts brand, and we'll talk about that a bit. Talk a little bit about Halloween and what we're looking forward to here in the remaining events for October and November as we basically start to wrap up the year. Can you believe it's already September? It's gone by pretty quick.
I can't believe it. And next month I get to see you again at New York ComicCon. We're coming in.
That's
and
right.
We're gonna. Yeah, I get to see you. It's like it's so soon. I went from meeting you once in January to now seeing you last month in August, and now I'm going to be seeing you again next month in New York City. You're coming to my area.
That's right.
And we're gonna ride the Staten Island ferry together.
That's right.
And I'm gonna show you around to get the best pizza in town. And Sbarro's, baby, we're doing it. Sbarro's, Pizza Hut, little Little Caesars. I almost said Little John. Little Caesars, Domino's. We're doing it all, baby. We're
Nice.
going. We're doing it, but I'm really excited to see you, and it's going to be a great time. So if you're coming to New York Comic-Con, be sure to come up and say hi to us and join us in anything we're doing. We just love being with everyone, and it's going to be a good time. When John and Dustin get together, you never know what's going to happen.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
I think we need to make it a little bit more official and turn this activity in Staten Island Ferry into Staten Island Fest, because we'll be there. We can record a podcast. We can drink a few beers, eat a few slices. What do you think?
Oh, I love the idea. We're definitely going to do that. We can interview some homeless people. We can, it's going to be a party on the Staten Island Ferry. It'll be a short little episode. The Staten Island Ferry, from when you get onto the boat to Manhattan, is about 25 minutes, and then I'm assuming, I don't know if we're going to go stay in Manhattan or if we're going to go back to Staten Island and really just party it up, because Staten Island's a party, man. Have you ever been to Staten Island? Have you ever?
No.
You haven't been?
I just know famous people like Colin Jost and John Madigan live in Staten Island.
And you're forgetting who's my king? Who's my king?
Justin Timberlake?
Well, he's the king of my heart. No, but the king of Staten Island, Pete Davidson.
Oh, of course, stand up, Pete Davidson, many tattoos.
Pete Davidson, who came, yes, but he came out with the movie, The King of Staten Island, which was
that's right,
which was filmed entirely on Staten Island. Like a lot of movies, though, people don't realize this. Like a lot of times, if you're watching a movie and it says it's in New York, they're actually in like Mexico or Georgia or somewhere. But this was actually filmed in Staten Island. It's a beautiful love letter to Staten Island. But me and you are going to have a good time. We're going to go to the outer boroughs, because honestly, as a New Yorker, like, you try to avoid Manhattan and Times Square at all costs. Like,
sure.
The only way that I'm going to Manhattan or Times Square is if I'm showing somebody around, or if I'm going to like a show. I'm going to Madison Square Garden or Radio City Music Hall or something.
Want to loop back onto your first trip to California? I'm kind of curious, like, what'd you think of California? Like, after you got to go around Hollywood and all that jazz?
Oh my God. So California was beautiful. It was always a dream of mine to go out and experience California. And California is so big. There's still so much more I want to go back and see and do.
Yeah.
The weather was perfect every day. I must say, being able to walk around with you, and we went to, where'd we go? Jack in the Box?
Jack in the Box. Yeah.
We went to Jack in the Box. We were on Jack in the Box, and I actually went to, I'm assuming in the video that you post, we'll see more of this, but remember that Ice's place that we saw that was across the street that had like 1 million people in front of it? I went there. Because I had to know what it was all about. And you know what? It was pretty damn good. It was, but the weather was beautiful in California. Everything there was really nice. On my last day in California, truly got to go out to LA and see the Chinese theater, and went to go see some stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. And then we went to go see some famous gravestones as well. Went to go see Michael Jackson and John Ritter and Paul Walker and Brittany Murphy and a bunch of these different actors, actresses, and whatnot. And it was just something cool and different to do. And it was honestly one of the best days I ever had in my life. And while we were at the funeral, while we were at the cemetery, we actually experienced an earthquake, which is something that I didn't even think about. Like, you guys have earthquakes all the time. We've had them very sporadically over here in New York. I think in my lifetime, I've experienced maybe only 2 or 3. But I know it's a somewhat regular thing for you guys over there. So being in the cemetery and experiencing an earthquake, granted it wasn't a major one, but you definitely felt it. It was like, whoa, like, that was weird. Like, we just survived an earthquake. Like,
yeah,
it was.
It's different. Dangerous. It's actually dangerous when there's an earthquake in the cemetery, because it opens up sometimes it might open up the coffins, and then what comes out of coffins once they've been woken up? The dead will climb up.
Yes, the zombies, of course.
Which is a fantastic transition to talk a little bit about this time of year, the spooky season. Most people think of the entire month of October as really the place for spooky season, but it gets warmed up here in September, and we've seen that with the Roosevelts. They're already running through. We've seen Mr. Morrow spooky series. We've seen the Marvel Zombies, and we've even seen this original designs for just kind of the cryptids. I'm kind of curious, like, what what does spooky season mean to you, like in your life? Like, how have you kind of celebrated this time of year leading up to the Halloween?
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that because truthfully, growing up, I guess in my household, sad as this may sound or whatever, Halloween was not a big time for us. I mean, we had the one day where we dressed up in character and went around and did trick or treating, but once we got too old for that,
Hmm.
it wasn't really much of a day for us. It really didn't do much, and I never really lived in an area that had lots of kids, so we didn't really even get lots of trick or treaters when we would stay home. So I can't really sit here and say that like Christmas was always much bigger, but like Thanksgiving and Christmas was always much bigger
Mm.
in my family than Halloween. As I've gotten older and just kind of matured to be into my own person, I actually really like spooky season in and of itself, and I kind of want to get more into it and celebrate and experience that holiday kind of more than I did when I was younger and not really able to do more things on my own.
Hmm.
So, I mean, I would love to hear from you on things that maybe I should do and try out, during the season. But kind of growing up for me, like I said, once you reach that age where you were done trick or treating, which I, which I really think there's never an age where you should stop doing it because who doesn't want free candy? Me
Yeah.
and my friends, when I was younger, this is a fun story. Um, we would go trick or treating on October 31st, and we would go on November 1st. We would go the next day.
Oh.
Um, we would tell people that we were sick on Halloween and we were doing it today because everyone always had leftover candy.
Oh, genius. What a
so we
hustle.
would so we would go around the next day too. We'd get dressed up and we'd go door to door and we'd get another round in.
Oh, that's awesome. What a cool idea. That's such a hustle. You could have sold
Yeah.
that candy. You could have sold that candy at school to kids.
Oh, absolutely, you could have.
Oh man, that's
But
awesome.
that's what we used to do when we were younger. Now, did you ever get into the whole shaving cream, toilet paper, throwing eggs, that kind of thing? Did you? Were you one of those kids?
You mean like rolling people's houses and stuff like that? No, no,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I did
No,
not. I didn't pull tricks on people's houses or anything like that.
you were a
But
good kid. You didn't get involved in any of that crap. You were
right,
you were good. Dustin
it,
was Dustin was a
it
good boy.
it's known as vandalism, just to be clear here. Right? And
It's known as,
no,
why
I
do you
was
have to
not.
put label? You have to put labels on things. That's a
I
strong label.
I didn't
Call it
put.
decorating.
I didn't put the label on it. It's the law. It's the law. But
It's decorating.
now I will say this. I was not against scaring the holy bejeebus out of any little kids, though. And once I got too old to trick or treat, I would escalate my scares. I would do the open the door and roar kind of thing, which is kind of
Yeah.
like really low stakes. You're not really putting much effort into it. The best
Yeah.
one that I did was I put on a costume and I sat in a lawn chair in the front yard.
Yes. This happened to me. This
Oh,
happened to me. I know
oh,
exactly. I was gonna bring this up. This happened
okay.
to me. I know exactly. And you'd pretend to be still,
Yes,
and you had a bowl of candy in your lap,
that's right. That's
and then
right.
you'd stand up.
Yes. Yeah, you don't try to grab for anybody. You just stand up and of course the kids freak out and
I'm
they
sorry for
you
taking away your story. I got excited and I took away your
no,
story, and
no,
I'm
no, no.
sorry.
But I mean, I'm sure it's not that original of an idea. I probably ripped it from
No,
someone else. I will say the growing up in Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights was an option, and I went to a few of those. But what's so strange about it is that you can never tell exactly when it's going to get chilly in Orlando. And I remember
sure.
the last time I went to Halloween Horror Nights, it was freezing. I just went there wearing effectively like what I'm wearing now. And it just got so cold. It was terrible. But Halloween Horror Nights is a lot of fun. Mickey's not so scary. I mean, like, no offense to our friends and listeners who love to hang out there. That's definitely a little bit more angled towards kids as an alternative
Sure.
for trick or treating in the neighborhood. And I think there's been a lot of like, weird things that have happened culturally, at least in the United States, around people and what they are willing to let kids do in the neighborhood versus kind of going. So if the parents are nervous and they want to have the party at Disney, then great. I'm glad that they do that. And I'm also glad that that option is available to them so that people at least participate in kind of like the fall festivals and things along those lines. But out here in San Francisco, it's almost like a non-event. That's like the super bummer.
Really?
There's lots of Halloween parties and lots of all Halloween things, but when it comes to like kids trick or treating in our building, they have like a common area, and they'll let the few children who live in this building, they'll come and they'll like wear their costumes, and some adults will give them candy. And they do it at the malls here now also. Maybe that's more common everywhere, like the malls and the stores, to get people into the stores on the Halloween. They'll let kids come and wear their costumes. But yeah, I feel like it's a lot of fun, and I wish that it was a practice that was still a little bit more regular, because I feel it's a fun coming of age, whether you're TPing people's houses or trees, or running a second day side hustle on Halloween candy. There's a lot of great stories and memories that I have from that time of year.
Oh man, I mean, I would love to do the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal.
Yeah.
I've thought about actually going out because here in New York, very close, we have Six Flags, and they do Fright Fest.
Yeah.
So I was thinking about going to that because I feel like that could be fun. That could be, why not? It's fun to get scared. Why not? Let's do it. I'm in.
Yeah.
Have you seen? Speaking of this, kind of wraps into our friends with Disney and and all that stuff. Have you seen the trailer for Screamboat?
Screamboat? No.
Screamboat.
What is it? Screamboat?
So, as you know, at the beginning of the year, the trademark for Steamboat Willie expired. So now anybody can do anything with it. So there's a new movie by a bunch of guys in Staten Island, I might add, called Screamboat, about a guy named Steamboat Willie that lives underneath the Staten Island ferry. It's going to be in theaters worldwide. And like I said, it's a bunch of Staten Island guys that are doing this. It's going to be the first horror film based off the Steamboat Willie character. And it's interesting. It's, it's kind of fun to see what they're going to do with this character. The fact that it's, it's a hometown thing, makes it a little bit more interesting for me. What are your thoughts on that? Should they just leave Steamboat Willie alone, or are you excited to see these kind of interpretations come out?
No, I absolutely love it, and I'm looking here at the IMDb page. This movie is going to star David Howard Thornton, who grew up in Alabama and is known for such amazing films as that. He was on the Gotham TV series for one episode. He was in Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 1, Art the Clown.
Yep.
So he's got some interesting credits to his name.
Also filmed on Staten Island. The Terrifier movies are from Staten Island.
Oh, okay.
We have some interesting people here and things that happen.
Steamboat Willie was just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. But every subsequent year, there's going to be a new set of Disney films from those early days and characters that are going to come along with them that are also going to enter the public domain. So knock yourself out, people. Have a good time. Speaking of famous people, John, we also got to see a certain celebrity wearing the Roosevelts. And it was a little bit of a surprise when the one and only Adam Sandler showed up wearing some of the Breakfast Balls shirts from Happy Gilmore. What did you think to finally see him land in some Roosevelts attire?
I was really happy. So we've seen Adam Sandler wear Breakfast Ball stuff sporadically over, I want to say, maybe the past year and a half. The first time we saw it was on stage. I don't know where he was, but Adam Sandler goes out and performs. But the first time, at least that I know of, that we saw Adam Sandler wear a Breakfast Ball polo was on stage wearing El Mantle. And that was really cool and exciting for everyone in the Insiders group, especially there was a few people who were there in the audience. And then from there, we've seen him on the red carpet wearing red carpet for one of his Netflix movies, wearing a Breakfast Ball polo. But now, and this was just sporadically over the past year. These are the two instances that I know of over the past year and a half. And now the first time now that we've seen him consistently, where he's been wearing them consistently, was the day that I got back from D23. Mm-hmm. He was on the Joe Rogan Experience wearing the Breakfast Balls polo. And then from there, he was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, and he was on the podcast with the Kelsey brothers, and he was on a CNN article, and he was on a red carpet for his new Netflix special that just dropped, his new comedy special. And just there's been some paparazzi photos, just people take of him just walking around town, and he's wearing Breakfast Balls almost every day. And first of all, I love it. I absolutely love to see him do this. I'd like to see him mention the brand name once, because he's been wearing them all over the town and all on these high-profile things, and he's not mentioning where he's buying the clothes, where he's getting the clothes from. But I love to see our cult get a new famous member, and I was really, we do. We have a nice, fun new member who's addicted to our cooks, and I'm really happy to see him do it. I grew up loving Adam Sandler. I used to watch his movies all the time. Do you have a favorite Adam Sandler movie?
It's got to be Happy Gilmore. One of the things that's a hallmark of Adam Sandler. You know what? Actually, Happy Gilmore is my answer, but Uncut Gems was a really surprising film.
Well, that you saw him in a completely different role than what you know.
I kind of like that different take. It was quite cool. Mm-hmm.
My favorite Adam Sandler movie is one that most people have never seen. It's definitely, and I think it's this movie is so dumb. It is so dumb, but I think it's hilarious. That's My Boy. Have you seen That's My Boy?
I have not seen That's My Boy.
Okay, so Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg. Adam Sandler, as a child, gets his high school teacher pregnant.
Okay,
and he gets his high school teacher pregnant, and when he turns 18, he's responsible for the kid. And with this, he had some local notoriety. There was a Lifetime movie based upon the scandal, and the way little minor celebrity things happen and fizzle out.
Sure.
Let's go 40 years down the line. As it turns out, he's never paid taxes because quote unquote he thought they were taking them out automatically.
Oh my gosh.
So he has 5 days or something to get $43,000, and he hasn't had contact with his son since he turned 18 and moved out.
Okay.
And he opens up a bridal magazine or something and sees him with his soon-to-be wife. And as it turns out, he's one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the financial industry. So now he needs to reconnect with his son and hopefully convince him to give him $43,000 before he goes to prison. It is the dumbest movie alive, but I highly recommend it if you don't get offended easily, because it's rated R. There's a lot of risque topics that you've never seen Adam Sandler joke about before, and that's why most people don't like it or will even give it a shot. But if you're okay and you don't get offended easily and you can just laugh and have a good time, That's My Boy is definitely a trip. But especially if you love Andy Samberg as well, because he's a riot. I love him. He's so fun.
Now I'm wondering if we'll see Travis Kelce wearing some Roosevelts, or if we see any other famous people wearing Roosevelts.
Well, Travis Kelce had a lot to say on the podcast that he does with his brother. I'm forgetting the name of it, but he does a very successful podcast with his brother. And Travis Kelce was really getting into the shirt. I mean, he complimented him on it and saying, "You can wear that anybody. You look great in it. You look cool. This is awesome." So I love to see the shirts get notoriety. I would love to see the brand get notoriety, though. At some point, someone's got to ask him, "Where did you buy that shirt? Where did you get that shirt from?" And I'm sure it's not hard to Google, but if we can get Adam Sandler to say Roosevelts or breakfast bowls, that would be huge.
That would be huge.
I think it's just it's kind of bittersweet because Steve Gebhardt, the co-founder of Roosevelts, loved Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler was one of his favorite people. And he had told me, I would, whenever I saw Steve, I would try to pick his brain a little bit, just about what his thought process was and what he liked and what he wanted, and I had asked him on multiple occasions, what is the one license that you want? What is the license that you want, but that you haven't been able to get for whatever various reasons? And he always stayed consistent on his answer that he wanted Adam Sandler, not any of Adam Sandler's movies per se. He wanted Adam Sandler, the person. Mm-hmm. He wanted shirts based upon Adam Sandler because he loved Adam Sandler. So it is kind of bittersweet to see this happen and to see, Steve, I'm assuming he would have went absolutely nuts watching Adam Sandler wear breakfast bowls all over town for weeks on end now. But, of course, we wish Steve was here to actually watch this, and see this, but it is a nice kind of thing in his memory that this is happening. And, it's really cool and special. And I just hope to see more famous people sporting the brand.
You mentioned Steve, and I think it would not be something that we would want to miss marking that since the last time we recorded a podcast, there was a celebration for what would have been Steve's birthday on the 23rd of August. The brand released 2 new shirts, one called Steve Pops in Freedom and one S is for Legend. And both of those shirts were really amazing. They put them up for sale, but there was a very limited quantity. And then they put up a pre-order page for people who did not get them in the first wave so that they could essentially be looped in on the second order. Both of these shirts were really amazing. I bought both of them instantly. And, I wish that I was going to be able to wear those to the celebration on the 14th in a couple of weeks from now in Hoboken. You'll be there.
I think it was really special and touching to see the outpour of love and support from the community. Just to see all the people's lives that Steve has touched and the way he's changed people. And like, I can say without a doubt that because of Steve and John and Roosevelts as a whole, my life has changed for the better. I have met some truly amazing people that, that I'm going to be close to forever. The classic saying is came for the shirt, stayed for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly mean that. And like, I'll talk with my mom and I'll tell her like, Mom, like I'm going to get a Roosevelt's tattoo. And she'll say to me, she was like, why are you going to do that? She was like, what if Roosevelt's is not even a thing in 10 years? And like, Mom, it doesn't matter. I'm like, it doesn't matter if Roosevelt's is still here in 10 years or not. I think it will be, but it doesn't really matter if it is or not because of the way that the company and the brand and the people behind it have changed my life forever. I will forever be a different, better person and have all of these amazing experiences with all these amazing friends and just amazing people that I've met now because of this company. I would have never had that if it wasn't for Steve and for John. So seeing the outpour of love and support, it definitely got me thinking, of course, of just all the times that I got to meet Steve and got to talk to him. And but I love the shirts. In fact, I also love the special thing about the S shirt, the S is for Legend shirt.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you saw the post on Instagram, but Steve actually designed that S logo. He actually is the one that did that. They have a video of him doing it on Instagram. I don't know if the Roosevelts posted it or if it was or maybe one of the people who work there posted. Somebody had posted though of him actually making it in Photoshop. So that S logo that you see was actually drawn by Steve. He actually made that one. It's not just a generic S logo.
Wow.
And of course, that just adds so much more to it. And of course, having the Bomb Pop shirt as well, as just as kind of a tribute to Steve's first shirt. That was the first shirt that he made and wore out in public. And there's a Field Notes article about that the first time that he wore that out in public. I think it was at Coachella. Correct me if I'm wrong. But and just seeing the effect of the brand and people coming up to him and asking him where he got that, and they loved the shirt, and that kind of sparked off the whole thing. So that was, I love both designs. I picked up both of them up, and it was really special. And it's also worth noting that all the money that went from that shirt is going to a new foundation, the Uncle Stevie Fund. Did you read about that? And
I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah, and that's going to go for Steve's like nieces and nephews, and getting them to school and just like activities for them. And I was really happy to see that, and I'm just really glad that the community came together to really sell out those shirts. And then the fact that we're all going to be meeting up on the 14th is to celebrate Steve and his life with his family is something really special and remarkable. And I can't wait to see everybody there.
Yeah, you'll be there. I will not. I'm one of these.
Poor you. Where will you be again? Where will you be?
I'll be in Hawaii. I'm a weirdo because I like to plan out my travel for the year.
You're not a weirdo.
Weird. That's
Dustin.
not weird.
No, you just have money. Okay.
I don't buy the tickets. That's not the same thing. Like I don't buy the tickets. No,
I see.
I put it on I mark everything on the calendar, and then I'll plan out what it is that I'm gonna try to do. But I had made the plans to go to Hawaii in September, and then of course, before they announced it, probably a month before they announced the meetup, I had already now booked the flights and everything. So I won't be able to go, but I'll be there in spirit. And you know what? I will call you guys. I'll be there in video. I'll be there in video form, and I'll be looking at the Waikiki beach and sipping on something delicious and wearing, some really comfortable shirts. Last year in Hawaii, I saw a bunch of people wearing Roosevelts. So I think,
Oh, really?
and I actually even thought about trying to do like a little meetup, but I'm not really clear how many folks live in Hawaii. So I'm just going to pick my best and walk around with my fun shirts and see what I hear and who I meet. I always meet interesting people wherever I go. But I'm really excited that they're having the event. There is going to be a shirt that is part of the pre-order process, right? And it's very,
Yes.
very tightly controlled.
Yeah, so the shirt will not be given out at the meetup. You have to buy your ticket online, and then you have to show up to Pier 13. And I'm assuming there'll be some sort of check-in desk.
Yeah.
And when you do that, they'll take down your size and they will ship you out the shirt. And I believe the shirt will be some sort of Steve shirt. I don't know if that's officially been confirmed, but I believe the shirt will be part of the Steve collection. And once again, that's really nice to see that we're getting more Steve shirts, and it's just to kind of wear him on your heart. And Roosevelts is such a conversation starter.
Yeah.
So if somebody comes up to you about the the Steve Bomb Pop shirt, or the S is for Legends shirt, and they ask you where'd you get that from, you can also kind of throw in the little nod for Steve there when talking about it. And I'm really excited to see what this meetup shirt is going to be. I wonder if we're going to see anyone from HQ wearing it there, so we know what we're getting. Because they do like to tease us sometimes with some new things at meetups and events and whatnot. Just like we saw the S's for Legends shirt at San Diego Comic-Con. We saw John wearing it there.
We saw this at MegaCon.
You did, right. They do like to tease us, so I do wonder, because they are able to print up a couple of sample shirts, and I wonder if we'll see it there. It'll be interesting. But yeah, you have to actually physically be at the meetup, check in at the desk in order to get. If you buy a ticket and you're not physically there, you are not getting a shirt. So you've actually seen this outpour now of people trying to pay people to bring their wives or bring their children or bring something. Like they'll pay for it if you then send them the shirt. People who normally wouldn't be interested in actually showing up to the meetup. There's been an outpour of requests like that. This is not going to be a normal meetup. This is, instead of it being a Roosevelt's meetup, this is a celebration of life for Steve. I think it's probably the best way to kind of put of what this is going to be. And that's why you are seeing so many people fly in for it and be there. There's going to be so many insiders there. I'm going to be there. Ricky McCann is coming, which I was really happy and excited to see. Remember, Dustin's too busy in Hawaii to be there. But no, there's going to be a lot of people. Aaron Williams is showing up.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot of insiders that and love. And we also have the beer swap the night beforehand as well at Departed Souls.
Right.
So that should be a fun night as well. Everyone's going to bring in beer from their hometown, and they put them down the table and they just kind of do a swap. And that way everyone goes home with a mixed bag of stuff, and then we all drink together. So that'll be a fun time as well.
I'm really sad to miss it. I mean, I'm gonna be having a good time, but
You're in Hawaii.
I know, but under any other circumstances, I would have.
It's a little hard to feel bad. You're in Hawaii.
Yeah. It's true, but you can go to Hawaii anytime. Like this event is not happening again. This is one time.
No, it's not. Right? And I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, of course.
This is brotherly love.
Of course. Well, the reason why I can feel comfortable not to be there is because you're going to be there. So you have to rep us. You have to rep both of us there.
Yes, I will. Though I will drink enough for the both of us. Don't worry.
I knew I could count on you.
Yes, you. Don't worry. I got you.
All right. So there's only a couple more big events throughout the rest of the year for the Roosevelts, but they are big events. So we've got the LA ComicCon coming up. Then we've got, and before that, we've got New York Comic-Con coming up. I'll be at New York Comic-Con. I don't have plans to attend LA Comic-Con, but depending on how things go, maybe I'll go down there.
That's interesting. You're coming to New York Comic-Con, but you won't come to LA when you're right there.
Well, it's true. And last year, I actually, when the channel was getting started, I was like, oh, maybe I should go down there. And I just sort of talked myself out of it. Knowing that the Roosevelts is going to be there, maybe I will go down there. It's easy to get down there. That's not the point. It's also downtown, which is a little bit of a pain in the butt to get to. Traffic in LA, now you've experienced that. Yeah, so I'm undecided on whether or not I'm going to LA Comic-Con. I think, in fact, I may make the call at the last second, but I will definitely be at New York. I love New York. It's one of the best cities in the world. Even if I can't find a slice there, you're going to fix that problem for me. We're going to fix that problem. Thank you. The guy at Sbarro's said they were rated #1. They were the #1
Of
Sbarro's
course,
in New York City.
Of course he did. Of course he did. No, we're gonna take you to some good spots. And
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna fix that problem.
That's good. Okay. Maybe we'll see Dave Portnoy there, right?
Maybe we'll see Dave Portnoy there. Well, it's funny actually. Dave Portnoy actually just did a whole bunch of spots in Brooklyn that I've been to. And it kind of like in the area that I grew up in. So
Nice.
It was kind of cool to watch him do his scoring and review.
You know, one of the interesting things coming back to the Comic-Con and LA Comic-Con, there's confirmed that there will be no Mosh Isleys for the rest of the year. So they did one at Dragon Con. They, of course, they had their event at Comic-Con, which was awesome. No more. Yeah. No mas.
I was really hoping for a Mosh Isley in New York. I'm really disappointed that we're not getting one. And nobody else is getting one for the end of the year. We're going to have to wait until next year and just hope it happens. But yeah, no more Mosh Isleys for the rest of the year. And it sucks because I've gone to 2 Mosh Isleys, and both times they were some of the best experiences I've ever had. It was just a crazy fun time, and I'm itching to go back. I'm itching to. We have a local band over here in the New York, New Jersey area called the Wet Bandits, a play on Home Alone, and they specialize in kind of the pop punk music as a cover band.
Nice.
And that in and of itself is kind of like a minor, it's like a little league Mosh Isley in the sense of what's going on there. And they actually perform really, really, really well. And I've probably seen them 3 or 4 times now and always have a good time. And I'm itching to go back and see them just because I want that Mosh Isley experience. But there's just something being with insiders as well and having that full-blown Mosh Isley experience that I'm missing. And you did your first chug train at your Mosh Isley as well.
I did. Yeah. Yes. I've been called out a few times and I'm a little slow to respond. And then after it's too late, I'm like, I guess I missed the window. But yeah. And then I immediately was calling out other folks who were right next to me, who I knew had immediate access to alcohol and could participate. So
and you took the cup and you poured it right over the head to show that you were.
You have to show like this halfway stuff. That's not it. You need to show that you drank it all, right? You're supposed to take your hat off and show that you drank it all, right? But Mosh will be back, I think, for MegaCon, so you'll be set for that. You'll be set for that. But I will say now, a lot of times on podcasts, John, we will go through and we will cover our favorite shirts from the different drops. The shirts have been coming out so fast; it's been very, very hard to stay on top of it. We've had everything from Secret Wars to breakfast balls to restocks to everything. So as we get ready to close out the episode here, let's just kind of like quick fire our top 3 shirts since the D23, which would basically be from Secret Wars up until the stuff that got released this week.
I will say, I will say that I'm a sucker for the hoodies, as you guys know. I've always been a fan of the hoodies. And the fact that we got that amazing Halloween drop of hoodies, I want to say maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with those. Did you happen to buy any of those?
No, I did not buy any of those, but I was happy that they came back around. So I definitely saw them and was like, and then I thought of you. I was like, oh yeah, John's gonna want these.
Oh, he thought of me. I appreciate it. I always like to be on your mind. You're always on my mind.
Aw, isn't that a song? It's an Elvis song.
That is. You're right. I like that.
You're always on my mind.
I mean, I love the Oogie Turns the Boogie hoodie, though. And I love the fact the Nickelodeon spooky mashup as well, because I grew up as a Nickelodeon kid.
Yeah.
So that is definitely one that I definitely feel like I need. I'm also really happy that we got the Paging Miss Tomorrow collection. I mean, and isn't he the sweetest? Isn't he? Actually, I do have a funny D23 story.
Okay.
To say, so on the last day of D23, and you can see it here in the podcast that we did. That was the last day of D23. There, I was in full Paging Miss Tomorrow gear. I don't know why. I had it on me, and I was like, let's do that. So I had the hat, I had the shirt, and I had the tiki and the t-shirt, and and look, and I kind of look a little like Nate. I kind of look. I've been mistaken for him. We both have beards, the dark glasses. Typically, always wear a hat. Wearing Roosevelts. I get the I get that. I like to say I'm a Timu version of Nate. Of
Timu, Mr. Morrow. That's good.
I'm Timu.
You're
I'm
better
Timu,
than
Mr.
that.
Morrow.
You're better than that.
But I did have a few people ask to stop me while I was there at D23 on that day, asked to take pictures with me. And some people thought I was him, and some people just thought I was doing a cosplay version of him. And I always tell people, I'm like, I'm not him, right? But this happened a couple of times where I was like, you know what? I said to myself, I'm like, you know what? The next person that asks me if I'm paging Miss Tomorrow, like, I'm just gonna go along with it. So I'm hanging out by the Roosevelts booth, and somebody comes up to me and says, "Excuse me, are you paging Miss Tomorrow?" And I say, "Yes, I am." And he says, "Well, hi, my name is James Mulligan from the Disney Corporation."
You mean the guy who designed the Workshop of Wonders and two of the shirts?
He said, "I designed the Roosevelts booth. It's so nice to meet you." And I was like, he's in there. He's in. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's in there.
I'm tired of getting asked if I'm a famous person.
I'm like, sorry. You're like the fifth person today to ask me, and I just was having some fun. And I'm sorry, but you did a great job.
All right. Well, I'll go first, and I'll kick off with my 3 best shirts from since the last podcast. Number 3, I want to give some shout out to the Phantom Faces exclusive from the Toronto Fan Expo, which was a really cool event. Loved it, and it's a shirt I would wear. I don't have one, but I might just have to pick one up. Number 2 was a shirt that I actually saw leaked when we were hanging out with the folks, the Roosevelts after the panel on the last day, which was the Pineapple Express bamboo short sleeve. You had the guys were wearing all of these different shirts, and it's just the giant, rings of pineapple already pre-sliced and ready to put on top of pizza as an excellent topping.
Yeah, of course. Then, we're gonna get you some good pizza, okay. And not worry about it. And don't, please. I'm asking you, please, when we are there, please, for the love of God, do not ask anybody to put pineapple on your pizza when we're in New York. I'm begging you.
I literally, at your request, asked a guy last night who has a giant sign that says "cash only" for burritos. If we're on FaceTime, you heard it. So
I did. I was so happy.
You can so bet your ass I'm asking for pineapple.
Oh dear Lord, you're gonna get. Please, for the love of God, do not.
I'll be selective. If the Yelp reviews for the pizza place are 4.5 or higher, I will not screw over anything at 4.5 to 5.0 rating. I will not ask for pineapple. Or maybe I'll just make it a bit where they know I'm not really asking. And then I can check both boxes.
You can justify if the people there are friendly and fun and all that.
Yeah. If they tell me to get out of here, then then I guess I'm out.
Forget about it. I'm walking over here.
And then number 1 shirt for my list, S is for Legend. That shirt is awesome. Fantastic design. And the fact that, I did not know that Steve was the designer of that S. It lands even, more strongly. So that's my 3. What about you, John Madigan? So
my 3 are going to be the Alice in Wonderland Who Are You exclusive at D23.
Yeah.
And I'm going to double down. I'm going to say the Sketches in the Stars exclusive at D20, the red exclusive. Which, by the way, can we give a shout out to Aaron Williams for making the dual shirt?
I saw that.
The mashup shirt between the two. That looked beautiful. That was great. I was really. And one other person I want to say it was Jacob Dilley did that as well.
I don't know, but it looked great.
It looked absolutely great. And then I'm going to give it to for the next one, the last best shirt I feel like we've gotten is Kuno Pops. I thought Kuno Pops was a very interesting design choice that have all those kind of different whales as pops all over. I thought that was really cool, and I definitely thought that was a must-have for any Roosevelts insider.
Yeah, 100%. Really, really great. A lot of shirts coming out. I mean, admittedly, and that's a separate conversation. But the stuff that we have been seeing has been strong. It's been a lot of fun, and yeah. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up here. For those of you who will be in Hoboken for the celebration, I'm so happy that you guys will be there. John will be there repping us. Maybe I'll call in on video. And
yes, you'll call in. I'll just send the phone around, and you'll get to talk to everybody.
Yeah, that'll be great. Hi.
Why not?
Hi.
Yeah. Hi. Everyone's going to want to talk to you.
Hi. I just got to account for the time zones because I'm going to be even further away. Like right now it's 3 hours apart, but like that's 5 hours. 5 hours off.
But for insiders you'll do it.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll be there in video form only.
Yes, you will. You'll be there in spirit.
Yeah. So just want to remind you guys, please, especially those of you who are listening in audio format, please send in a review to Apple or to Spotify. Give us a thumbs up or a star. Let people know about the show. And of course, the best thing that you can do to help us out is to just please reshare and tell your friends who are insiders that you think might like listening to some of this nonsense. I mean, we are what we are. We don't pretend to be anything else. It's just a couple of guys talking about shirts and having a good time.
The same people that you see on camera, we are the same people in person.
For better and for worse.
I'm just a lot more attractive in person.
Yeah, so. I can confirm.
You too are also a lot more attractive in person.
Well, thank you for noticing. We're just
two sexy mother effers. That's just who we are.
That's right. And we will definitely be at ComicCon. Please like and subscribe to the channel and drop a comment underneath on what you'd like us to make sure that we take a look at while we are at New York Comic Con. If you're interested in joining us for Staten Island Fairy Fest, drop a message here or drop us an email and we'll be sure to keep you in the loop. We don't expect a lot of people to want to go all the way out to Staten Island. But if you want to drink beer and just goof around with us and look at and make fun of the Statue of Liberty as we
make fun of it. Why would we make fun of this? What's there to make fun of?
We're Americans. It doesn't matter. We make fun of everything.
Remember when David Copperfield made the Statue of Liberty disappear?
I do remember that.
Made him disappear.
Oh, allegedly is something you say when somebody's going to jail. Like if he actually made it disappear, it would be a federal offense, right? And he would be in jail.
That would be. So it's actually really funny when he was promoting this. Because of this, he actually had to let like the government know like what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they actually doing it. This is what we call a hallucination, a mass hallucination aided by television technology.
And he's still performing in Vegas.
Yes, he is. That's what you can call it. Don't read the reviews. You read the reviews on Copperfield, you'll never want to go see him. If you got to see him, just go do it. But apparently, his show. I've heard
horrible things.
It's not so great.
I went to Vegas once. I love Chris Angel. I grew up loving Chris Angel.
Yeah.
Do you know who Chris Angel is?
Oh, I know who Chris Angel is.
I had the best experience. It was my birthday. I was there with my family, and I told the rest of my family, I'm like, I don't care what we do. I'm going to see Chris Angel though. I'm like, it has been a dream of mine since I was 13 to go see Chris Angel in Vegas. I'm here in Vegas. I don't know when to be back in Vegas. I'm going to see Chris Angel in Vegas.
Yeah.
Who wants to join me? They sent me there alone on my birthday. They were like, none of them had any interest in going to see Chris Angel. They were like, nope, we're good.
That's
we're
crazy.
Good. And you know what? I still had a great time. I had a second row seat. He gave me a fist bump, and me and Chris Angel took a shot of tequila together. So you know what? We had a great freaking time.
Okay, that's going to be a story for the next Where Mighty Things.
Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
Always leave them wanting more, John. That's it. We're going to sign off for now. Until next time, let's see if we can do it again.
Yeah.
Where Mighty Things. So long, everybody.